Well, let's go live now to international relations expert Sreeram Chaulia for more on the situation. Welcome to the programme. It's been confirmed that US-led forces also bombed targets near Aleppo. That is what we're hearing, which, of course, is outside Islamic State territory. Is this mission creep that we're seeing, and does Washington even feel limited to picking its targets now?
I don't think they really have a clear-cut mission in any case. I mean, what's happening, I think, is at the behest of some of these neighboring Sunni Arab monarchies. They've decided that they're going to drop ISIS, which previously was promoted by some of these US allies, and they're going to now back new horses. It looks like Raqqa, Aleppo, all these places where they're trying to now displace ISIS through aerial bombardment will be occupied by some of their proxies, which are also Islamists and jihadists, but just happen to be not ISIS. So they have, each of them has their own jihadist blue-eyed boys. So there is no sign of any moderate force on the ground that can hold territory which is being displaced through aerial bombardment. And so I think ISIS itself could become history in some time to come, but then there are new forces that are fundamentalists and extremely brutal and are terrorists, which are in a way being encouraged through these kind of bombing campaigns.
Are there echoes of Libya here? Because the Western-led intervention in that country also started with airstrikes. 3 years later, there's still chaos, very little rule of law. Is Syria now in danger of going the same way?
Absolutely, I think that's a good parallel, because now Libya, there are supposedly an Islamist and a secular set of forces, and then the UAE and Egypt are backing one side, while Qatar and Saudi are on the other side. So it's the same old playbook that's being repeated here. Already there's been so much bloodshed. I don't think this bombing is in any way going to improve matters. Syria is far more dubious case for intervention than Iraq. And not only for legal reasons, because of the lack of control of the Syrian state over some of these territories. So de facto, they don't have sovereignty, and therefore it's being violated anyway by the US and the Arab allies. Secondly, because Syria, there is no real force on the ground that is credible that can take over. So I think, in a way, it's going to exacerbate things. The US does not have a stomach for full-time military intervention by setting up ground troops, nor do the neighboring countries. So all we're going to see is a series of these strikes that will destabilize the region, that will, in a way, change territory and shift control of territory from one bad hand to the worst one.
Now, we also know that overnight no European countries took part in the bombing of Syria. Why do you think they held back?
Well, it's obvious the Europeans are more observant of sovereignty, and clearly they have supported the limited strikes in Iraq, because the Iraqi government has been open to these. But in this case, clearly it's bad, not only illegal, but also bad strategy to not involve the Syrians, not involve the Iranians, not involve Hezbollah. The groups that can actually counter ISIS and defeat them are being kept aside, and the ground is being paved for al-Nusra and some of these other al-Qaeda affiliated groups to make a comeback. So all of this shows bad strategy on the part of the Americans and their Arab allies, and I think it's going to come back to haunt them, because a year from now, I don't think we're going to see Raqqa or Aleppo getting any better, but rather worse.
International relations expert Sreeram Chaulia, thank you for your input this hour.